Hi, I'm Greg, and I'm one of the founders of Nimble Fish, which is an awards-winning arts training and producing company. And my background is as a writer and a producer.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm the other half of Nimble Fish, and I'm a theatre practitioner. And today we are going to be working with creative wellbeing at home for a new direction. And this series uses different art forms to explore how we can find balance and recalibrate during this uncertain time, and also grow as professionals and as people.
So all of these activities in the Creative Wellbeing at Home series have been tried lots of times with teachers, with creative professionals, and particularly with young people of many ages.
So with all of the activities for creative wellbeing from home, we would like you to find a quiet space, if that's possible, in your home, where you're not going to be interrupted too much.
So we'd invite you to use any of these activities in this series, adapt them, edit them, take them apart, put them back together, and use them in your setting or wherever you feel like you need to recharge your sense of well-being, your sense of creativity, and your sense of purpose.
So in this session, we're going to be doing two brilliant things. One is a free write, and the other is creating prose poetry. And the invitation is to dive in. You don't need to have a big background in creative writing or be a writer. It's just an exercise to explore your own unique thoughts and hopefully pulling out your subconscious and putting it on the page. And all you need is something to write with and a blank sheet of paper.
So we're going to start with Prewriting, and Prewriting was a creative tool that the Surrealists used a lot, along with free drawing. And as Sam said, it's really about just channeling the thoughts that you've got in your mind through your hand onto a page. And this is an invitation for those of you who maybe aren't keen on writing to let go of grammar, punctuation, syntax, spelling, or even sense. This is writing for you, straight from your brain onto the page.
So our free write is going to be between 2 and 3 minutes, but you could do it for longer. You could do a speed one and do it shorter. And traditionally, it follows a prompt sentence. That could be anything, but we've created a list of prompts to help.
So what we want you to do now is to set your timer for 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe a bit longer if you're feeling daring, you feel like you really want to write. Once you hit start on that timer, you begin by writing your prompt phrase, whichever one it is, whether one of the selections that we offered you or something that you choose yourself. The only rule in free writing is once that timer starts, you keep writing. You keep going. Even if you feel like you're writing nonsense or gibberish, if you're telling a story, if you're not telling a story, if things are misspelled or not punctuated, it doesn't matter. This is about flow. This is about getting what's in your mind onto the page. If you get stuck, which can happen, what we'd invite you to do is simply write the last word on your page over and over and over again. And we're pretty sure that you'll get unstuck after that.
So it might be tempting to edit as you're going along, or think, oh, I'll use a better word than what I've written just now. The invitation would be to resist doing that and just accept that whatever you're writing, it's good enough, and just to keep going, because that's where the power of this exercise lies. As Greg said, it's about taking what's in your head or in your subconscious and just getting it down on the paper. And then there'll be time later to review or edit or refine it if you want to.
Before we pause, which we're going to do in a minute to give you a chance to do your own free write, we're going to show you a selection from a free write that I did earlier. So this is a selection based on the starting phrase, writing sometimes feels like. And I simply went from there for 2 minutes. It was a short free write. And all I want to show you here is that it's messy. It doesn't necessarily make sense. It was what was coming out of my head onto the page. And when the 2-minute timer went off, that's when I stopped. So that's what we would invite you to do as well. So we're going to pause for a minute and we're going to ask you to pause. So just hit the pause bar, set your timer for whatever timing period you want to, do your free write. And when you finish that, hit play again and we're going to take it from there. So welcome back. You've hopefully done your free write. Hopefully you found that to be an interesting experience. There are lots of things you can do with free writing. What we're going to do with it here is we're going to use it as the foundation for some prose poetry. Prose poetry borrows a lot of the structural form of poetry, but its foundation is prose. And I'm going to show you a prose poetry example. And this is an example from the book, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyle. And what you'll see here is you'll see that there's a paragraph from the book, and then you'll see the same words from the book rearranged in a poetic form. They're all the same words. Sometimes the punctuation is there, sometimes it isn't there. Sometimes words are used in different ways or in different orders. But hopefully what you're seeing here is that when you rearrange prose this way, you see that it has a different power. You give words line spaces, you give them a bit of breathing space, and it gives you a different perspective on writing.
Yeah, so we're going to create our own prose poetry. So if you have a look, you'll go back to your free write and read it through, and then simply circle 10 words or phrases that you're drawn to or jump out at you. Don't have to overthink it, just go with instinct. And those words will then start to form your prose poetry.
So we're going to show you the same free write,
yeah,
with some words and some phrases circled here. These were randomly selected. So when you've chosen your words and phrases, like you've seen in the examples here, and like you saw in the Boy in Striped Pajamas example, try to create a prose poem. Play with the words, play with space, add words if you want to, add punctuation, capitalize things, boldface things, throw words around the page as if they were paint or confetti. This is totally up to you. This is your chance to play with words. So you can take any amount of time to do a prose poem, depending on the time you've got and what you're inclined to do. We'd say at least 5 minutes. It could be 15, it could be half an hour. So what we're going to do is to invite you again to hit the pause button, write your prose poem, and then we're going to come back and take it a step further.
I think you will have written your prose poem by now. And we wanted to share an example of one that we did. It's actually from Greg, and it's based on the free write that we've shared, and it's called Pulling Taffy. I'm just going to read that now. So, pulling taffy, locked underground like a pharaoh's tomb, deep within my brain, unseen, an impossibility, needing light, air, as yet inaccessible, but dislodged. It feels like something has shaken loose. And when.
So that was something that was just created off the cuff. I am not a poet by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a very freeing activity to do, and absolutely anybody can do it. And we would invite you to do it as well. So to finish, there are some reflection questions that we've created that you can use to think about the two activities we did, the free writing and the prose poetry. If you are doing this activity with others, whether it's with colleagues or whether it's with your family or friends or with young people, these can be useful points of reflection.
That's the end of this particular workshop, and we hope that you've enjoyed it. There will be other activities to come. Please do join us for those sessions as well.
So thanks for taking the time, and we wish you health, happiness, and many creative journeys to come.